Why? Why? Why did they do it? Hi, I'm Jeff Jackson, and I counsel people who've lost someone they loved to suicide. That's probably the one question that keeps playing over and over on an endless loop in your mind. Anyone who loses a loved one to suicide inevitably wrestles with the question, why? Now, obviously, I don't know you, and I didn't know the person you lost or anything about their lives, but I have spoken with hundreds and hundreds of people about their loss, and I've learned a lot of universal truths about suicide from those conversations. And the one thing I can confidently tell you is that wherever you're searching for the answer to why, you're probably looking in the wrong place. You see, suicide fools those of us left behind, because it certainly seems like the person we lost took deliberate action, sometimes enacting an elaborate plan to end their lives. So it's only natural to assume that this action was in response to something specific, a reason. And the first place we tend to look for answers is in the events that led up to their suicide. What happened that day, that week? What did that person say to them? What did I say to them? We painstakingly try to reconstruct the timeline leading up to it, like detectives trying to crack a case. And sometimes it seems like there is something to be found. A painful event happened to them. They were fired from a job. Their significant other broke up with them. They fell into a financial crisis or faced some kind of painful physical ailment. And you think, aha, that's why they did it. But you'd be mistaken, because suicide just doesn't work that way. In my video, The Single Most Important Thing You Need to Know, I explain that there's no such thing as a sudden suicide. Whatever that painful event was that seemed to drive them to suicide, it was merely what I call the catalyst. What do I mean by catalyst? Well, the easiest way to explain it is with that old adage, the straw that broke the camel's back. The catalyst is that last straw. But it's not that simple, because it's not the only straw. And that last straw doesn't have to be a big, burdensome one. It can be a tiny, seemingly insignificant one. And was there something else entirely that weakened the camel's back long before? People who die by suicide are most likely suffering from some kind of brain chemistry disorder that robs them of the ability to adequately process pain. I go into this in depth in my video, Inside the Suicidal Mind. But let me show you what I mean with a simple visual. Let's say this glass is our psychological capacity for pain. This is all we can bear. Now, all of us experience pain in our lives. Failure, heartbreak, disappointment. Sometimes those pains are huge, and sometimes they're small. But what a healthy brain has is the ability to process and vent off that pain in time. And the good things in our life help balance and overshadow that pain. But people suffering from a suicidal condition don't have that ability. And then the pain accumulates over the years. It builds up and it builds up until it simply exceeds their capacity to cope with it anymore. Now, maybe someone could have done something to stave off that most recent painful event. But eventually, another event would have come along to replace it. Without the ability to effectively process pain, their capacity to endure it will always overflow. They didn't die because of that final event. They died because of years of unrelieved pain left no room for one more drop. That is the true cause of their suicide, the true answer to why. So if you're blaming yourself or anyone else for causing or not preventing their suicide, that is a false perception. I have so much more to share with you about this, and educating yourself about suicide is your best tool to healing from this loss. So subscribe or follow. Check out those other videos I mentioned. You can heal from this. I promise you, you can. And I'm here to help you do it.